Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my next video. This video is about top pronunciation mistakes made by English learners. Through my years of teaching experience, I've noted several common mistakes which crop up again and again in students' English pronunciation. And in this video, I'm gonna fix these mistakes together with you. If you're ready, let's start. Before we dive into the main part of the video, let me quickly introduce myself because there might be some new subscribers and new viewers to my channel. I am Gulora Muzaffarova, an English teacher and an IELTS instructor. Let me show you my IELTS certificate as a proof of my current English level. Now on the screen you can see my last IELTS certificate. Now let's go back to the main part. Please pay attention. In the English language, there are a lot of accents. So we have American accent, Australian, Canadian accent, and we have British accent. Even British accent has different types and varieties. And today in this video, while I'm correcting top pronunciation mistakes made by learners, I'll be referring to British Standard English as a correction. I've learned English thanks to the IELTS exam. While I was preparing for the IELTS exam, I learned a lot of new things in the English language, and the IELTS exam is based on British English. That's why my ears are used to listening to British English, my tongue is used to pronouncing words in the British accent. That's why in this video I'll be correcting top pronunciation mistakes made by learners according to British RP, which means received pronunciation. In this video, I'm gonna focus on most common mistakes made by Uzbek learners because I come from Uzbekistan and majority of my students are Uzbek learners. I'm quite sure that these mistakes are not confined to Uzbek learners, and other nationalities also make these mistakes quite often in their speech. While giving examples, I'll start from lower level of words. I'll start from beginner elementary words and we'll slowly move on to higher levels, and I'll be giving upper intermediate and advanced level words. In general, I've noted two main challenges for Uzbek learners while pronouncing English words. The first problem is the absence of certain sounds in their first language, and as a result, most learners will have a difficulty while they're pronouncing certain English sounds which do not exist in their language. The second problem is putting the stress on the wrong syllable within a word. Let's talk about the first problem in detail. The English language is rich in sounds. There are 22 vowels and 22 consonants, making up a total of 44 sounds. Can you imagine? 44 sounds. In comparison, the Uzbek language has around 30 sounds. This means that an average Uzbek learner has to learn 14 new sounds in order to pronounce English words perfectly. This is a lot of hard work. One of the most challenging sounds for Uzbek learners is the butterfly sound. The butterfly sound doesn't exist in Uzbek language, and as a result, majority of them have a difficulty in pronouncing this particular sound. The butterfly sound is between A and E. So when you pronounce this sound, you half open your mouth, not full, half open your mouth, and you say ah, ah. Pay attention how I pronounce this sound, ah. Now let's look through a few examples. When you mispronounce the butterfly sound, you say a quite different word. For example, bad, bad, which means something negative, something wrong, but usually many learners, they mispronounce and they say bad, bad. A bad is something on which you sleep, but bad is adjective. Bad, it means something is wrong, something is negative. So you see, when you mispronounce this word, you say something quite different which you didn't intend to say. Once again, I'll repeat. Try with me. Bad, 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 bad. Perfect. Another example. Bag. A bag is something in which you carry your personal belongings when you go out. And beg. Beg, it means to ask for something repeatedly, to ask something again and again. As you see, these are quite different words and they sound quite differently. When you pronounce them wrongly, you might be saying a different word which you didn't want to say actually. Once again, try with me. Bag, 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 bag. Another common mistake is the singular and plural words man and man. Pay attention to the pronunciation. When you want to say this noun in singular, we say man, man. This is a butterfly sound. Ah, man, man. Try with me. Man. Now, when you want to say this word in plural, this is a sound. Man, man. Do you see the difference? Man, butterfly sound. Men, a sound. Sound. Another example. Cat, hat, mat. So all of these words have a sound. Cat, hat, mat. The next common mistake is the word national. National. But most learners, they pronounce it like national. National. No, this word is not pronounced like national. The correct way is national. National. Say with me. National. So this is again butterfly sound. National. National. The next example. Rational, which means reasonable. Rational. Or the negative form of this word. Irrational. Irrational. Again we have the sound. The rational. Irrational. Pay attention when you say the negative form of this word. When you say rational, we have only one R. We don't have double R when we pronounce this word. Although there are two R's when we spell this word, there is only one R when we pronounce it. So say with me. Rational, irrational, rational, irrational. Now let's move on to words of higher levels. The next word is prefer. Pay attention to the pronunciation of this word. Prefer. Prefer. But many English learners, they tend to say prefer or prefer, so they usually put the stress on the first syllable in this word, but actually in this word the stress is on the last syllable, on the second syllable. Say with me, prefer. Prefer. Don't say prefer or prefer, it's prefer. Prefer, so stress on the second syllable. Another word, develop. Develop. But most learners, they usually say develop, develop. No, we don't say develop. Don't pronounce the O sound in this word. Just say develop, develop. So stress is on the V, develop. So we have in this word. Develop, not develop, but develop. Another example, allocate, allocate. The word allocate means to give somebody something as part of their share to use in a particular way. For example, the government is allocating £10 million to health education. This example is given in Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary. Majority of English learners, they usually pronounce this word like allocate, allocate. No, this is not pronounced like allocate. The correct pronunciation of this word is allocate. Say with me, allocate. Don't say allocate. No, this is not allocate. This is allocate. Allocate. Another example is admirable. Admirable, which means deserving respect. But most students, they tend to pronounce this word like admirable. Admirable, because the verb form of this word is pronounced like admire, and they tend to pronounce it a similar way. In the word admire, the stress is on the second syllable, but when you say admirable, the stress is at the beginning, on the first syllable. Don't say admirable, say admirable. Admirable. Say with me, admirable. The next example is bargain. Say with me, bargain. Bargain means something bought at a lower cost than its usual value. And the majority of English learners, they tend to pronounce this word like bargain, bargain. They tend to stress the second part of this word, second syllable, but the stress is on the first syllable. Say with me, bargain, bargain. Don't say bargain, say bargain, bargain. The next example is the word attitude. Attitude. And this word is usually mispronounced by many English learners, and they usually say attitude. Attitude. So they put the stress on the last syllable, on the pre-last syllable. They say attitude. No, this is not attitude. The correct pronunciation of this word, according to British accent, British standard accent, this is attitude. Attitude. So the stress is at the beginning of the word. Attitude. Say with me. Attitude. 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 Another common mistake made by English learners is placing the stress on the wrong syllable. For example, in the Uzbek language, stress usually falls on the last syllable within a word. So Uzbek learners, they tend to stress the last syllable in every word. But in the English language, stress is put on different syllables in different words. Sometimes it's at the beginning, sometimes it's in the middle, or sometimes it might be at the end of a word on the last syllable. You can never guess a correct pronunciation. You can never guess where to put the stress, on which syllable to put, unless you check it in a dictionary. That's why you should always check the correct pronunciation of words in an English dictionary to make sure. Now let's look through a few common mistakes made by English learners while pronouncing English words. One of such words is expensive. Pay attention to the way I pronounce this word. It's pronounced like expensive, expensive. The stress is on the second syllable. But most learners, they usually stress the last syllable in the word and they say expensive, expensive. No, we don't say expensive. It's the wrong stress in the word. The correct stress is on the second syllable. The correct pronunciation of this word is expensive, expensive. Don't say expensive, say expensive, expensive. Another common mistake is the word student. So most learners, especially Uzbek and Russian learners, they pronounce like student, student, because this is how they pronounce in their language. But in English, the stress is at the beginning of a word, on the first syllable. Instead of saying student, you should say student, student. Say it with me. Student, not student, but student, student. Another example, the word problem. Problem. Pay attention how I pronounce this word. The stress is on the first syllable. Problem. Another common mistake made by English learners is pronouncing a double consonant. Some English words are written with double consonants. There are two consonants when it's spelled, but when we pronounce them, there's only one consonant. We don't pronounce both of them. But majority of English learners tend to pronounce both of them when they speak. One very common example is the word happy. Say with me, happy. But majority of English learners, they usually say happy, happy. They pronounce double P, like I am very happy. No, we don't say I am very happy. The correct form is happy. I'm very happy. So there's only one P when you pronounce this word. Another similar example is the verb happen. Happen. We don't say happen, not double P when you pronounce. There's only one P when you pronounce this word. Happen. Say with me. Happen. Other examples. Carrot. Not carrot. There is no double R. There is only one R when we pronounce carrot. Carrot. Or cabbage. Cabbage. We don't say cabbage. There is only one B when we pronounce. It's cabbage. Cabbage. There is butterfly sound after k. Ka. Ah. Cabbage. Other examples. Support. Support. It's not support, but it's support. Only one P. Support. Support. Another example. Suppose. Suppose. It's not suppose, but it's suppose. Only one P. Say it with me. Suppose. Other examples. Occupy. Pay attention to this word. Most learners, they tend to say 2K when they pronounce this word. They say occupy. No, we don't say occupy. It's wrong. You need to say only one K, and after K there is U. Occupy. Occupy. You see? Occupy. Another example. Accurate. accurate. We don't say accurate. Oh, there is only one K when you pronounce it, and it is accurate. Accurate. Accuracy. And the last example, this is opposing. Opposing. Don't say opposing. Don't pronounce two P's when you say this word. Say only one P. Opposing. Opposing. Thank you very much for watching. We've come to the end of the video. This was the last word which I wanted to explain in this video. If you liked the video, please support me by subscribing to my channel and don't forget to hit the like button and the notification. Also, share the video with people who are learning English because this might come in handy in their learning process. Once again, thank you very much for watching the video and see you in the next videos.